Hey, what's up everybody? It's Chad. Today's question is one that I get quite a lot when people find out that I'm an herbalist, and that is, how do I prevent or at least reduce a hangover? So that's today's topic. What I'll be covering is just mostly botanicals and food. I'm not really going to touch upon any type of we'll call chemical supplements. I do have experience with those. Years and years ago, I used to drink. I actually used to be quite a heavy drinker, and during that time period, I did use a lot of supplements, and whether or not they actually did anything, who knows. Yeah, it's been like 8 years, I think, since I've drank. But anyway, so what the things that I will be covering, they're not necessarily specific to hangovers. In fact, some of them I use off and on throughout my week or throughout the month. Because they are very good at not only protecting the liver, but also helping it to function better, helping cells to proliferate. And with the world that we live in, with all the xenoestrogens and things in food, as well as the stuff that comes off of electronic devices, like that plasticky smell actually has some estrogen-like components. So this helps the liver to process all that out. Now, first one I will cover is probably the most common, and most people do know this, and that is milk thistle. So with milk thistle, what is used for the actual properties is the seed. So that is what the seed looks like. Now, with this herb, as well as the other herbs I'll be showing you, the type of liver herb that it's classified as is called a hepatoprotective. Now, sometimes you'll hear that there are liver herbs, but see, there's different functions within within that category, and some of them, they kind of pertain to alcohol, but not really. So what we'll be dealing with today is the hepatoprotective herbs. Now, if you're using the actual seed itself, what you'll need to do is take about a tablespoon of it and just grind it up and just eat it down. And it's better to just grind it up and then immediately eat it. Now, you can do that with a coffee grinder. You can do that with mortar and pestle if you have that. But yeah, you want to grind it up and then take it immediately. Now, if for those of you who want to DIY it and do something like make your own tincture, because a tincture is very useful, especially too if you're at some sort of social event and you want to take some milk thistle seed during that time. You want to take milk thistle, you can always grind up the seeds and take them with you, I suppose, if you want to go to that extent. But if you wanted to make a milk thistle seed extract, what you would do is it's a 1-to-2 ratio, meaning if you had 1 ounce of milk thistle seeds, you would add 2 ounces of fluid to it. Now, the fluid you would use to extract it, because of the types of compounds in there, it requires a very high alcohol content. So you would need to use grain alcohol. So we're talking 95%, or that would also be known as 190 proof. Now, in the United States, there's only a few states that actually sell that, so you'd have to check with your local regulations to see if you can buy that in your area if you so chose to do that. But so milk thistle, what that does, as well as the other herbs I'll be showing you, is part of their function is to help the body to produce glutathione. Your liver specifically, already does that. But in the presence of toxic overload, or that being alcohol in this particular case, it causes the body to have to upregulate its production of glutathione. And see, it's not just the glutathione itself, but there's also some enzymes that are needed to help that whole reaction occur after it's been produced. So these herbs just help your body it kind of nudges it in the direction to upregulate and protect itself better. Now, I'll briefly touch upon just the nature of the hangover. So there's 3 main causes. The first one being the fact that you are putting a toxic compound into your body, and one of the byproducts of that, ethanol being processed in the body is acetaldehyde. And now, so acetaldehyde, it's a byproduct more or less, and that's what your body has to get out, and that's what that does require not only enzymes and other certain functions that the body has to go through to get that out, but more or less it just makes it work harder. The second the biggest effect due to alcohol consumption is that alcohol impairs the ability of your pituitary to perform a specific function, helping to balance fluids. So that's one of the reasons that even if you're just drinking hard liquor, like straight, and you find that you're just pissing like a racehorse, even though you really haven't taken that much in, it's because your pituitary, which is located in your brain, is having a hard time regulating the kidneys and what the fluid balance in your body should be, so everything is just kind of whooshing out. And that's one of the reasons too that even if you are drinking water during that time period, that you can still wake up absolutely parched in the morning. So, and also lastly is electrolytes. So when it comes to electrolytes, I'm all for getting them from, things like vegetables and fruits. And yeah, I guess if you really wanted to just take some easy over the counter conventional type thing, I guess I'd say go with something like an Emergency or one of those little packets, but try to get everything from real food sources if you can, because hell, it's real food. So next thing I'll cover now is, next herb rather, there's actually a mushroom, is reishi. Reishi is just awesome, and most people should just take it anyway because it's very safe. It's very safe for long-term use. The more that you use it, it has an accumulative effect. So this is, you can find reishi extracts in tincture form. Few reputable companies sell them as pills, but if you're using it as the tea, I'd say just if you can get your hands on it, which you can because you're on the internet and it's sold on the internet, you can get the mushroom and you can just decoct it, which is basically just boiling it for a few hours. You can't take that mushroom and eat it. It has a very fine fibers that protect it, and it has the good stuff locked inside of it, and you literally have to boil it for hours in order to release that. So I don't care if you have the strongest digestion in the world, if you take just the plain mushroom and eat it, it's not going to do anything. So once again, that has similar effects to milk thistle in that it helps your liver to basically just function better. Reishi also has the benefits of enhancing the immune system, and it can lower a hyperactive immune system, or it can raise a hypoactive immune system. So it's very balancing, and it's just a great herb that should be used day to day anywho. Now, next one that I'll show you is Schizandra berry. This is my favorite. I extract this. I usually take it in tincture form myself. But the actual berries, they're very hard. I mean, it's not like a goji berry. It's very, very hard. So you've either got to make that in tea form, or there's plenty of, you can definitely get it in tincture form. And that, once again, it's very specific to the liver, and it just gets right into your bloodstream and helps your liver do its thing. So these are all very safe, very effective, and extremely time tested. In fact, when it comes to the milk thistle, the active component in it, well, one of the active components is silymarin, and that has been extracted and used over in Germany for treatment of death cap mushroom. And for those of you who are not familiar with death cap mushroom, you eat even just a small quantity of it, because there's another mushroom that looks quite similar to it and is edible. And it more or less in a 24-hour time period or less can just turn your liver black, and you're pretty much destined to die. But silymarin in the actual cases, so in vivo, and it wasn't even a study, they've actually used it in people who had eaten death cap mushroom and were considered goners, and it pulled them out of it. So it is very, very effective. Now, As I said, you can take all these things day in and day out, long-term use, extremely safe in pretty much all cases. If you were to start using them, like say the milk thistle, I'd say start the morning before you know you're going to party, and then if you want to, you can take some during the night, and then even take some the next day when you wake up, just to help your just basically help your liver nudge itself along. Now, at the end of the night, one thing that would be very, very beneficial to you, it's not an herb, but it helps, is taking activated charcoal. Because when you go to bed, assuming you do, when you go to sleep, it's going to just gobble up any of the junk that's left in your system. And, you know, think about it, this stuff is used in emergency rooms when people OD, and it can pull them right out of it because it literally just grabs onto everything and sucks it up. And it's very, very safe and effective. Only thing it's typically contraindicated in is people who are constipated, but yeah, to the best of my knowledge, the LD50 for charcoal does not exist as far as I've seen. So now the following day, what is good is to eat foods that are high in cysteine. So cysteine is an amino acid, and any food that you can eat that has actually, I'll back up for a second. Cysteine, it just basically helps the liver to do a lot of the processes that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So cysteine containing foods would be egg yolks, anything from the brassicas family, so that being broccoli, kale, if you can tolerate cabbage, so cabbage in the form maybe even sauerkraut, that would be a good way to go. And eating those foods, not only the vegetables mentioned are going to add a lot of bulk to the colon, which is going to help to excrete a lot of things, because when a lot of the junk that does get processed, not all of it goes to the kidneys, a lot of it does get dumped into the intestinal tract, and it gets pushed out by the fiber or whatever else that you have in there. So that's a good way. You want to make sure that you're moving. And anything rich in vitamin C is extremely beneficial, because that helps. I mean, vitamin C, we know, helps with an incredible large amount of things in the body, but one of those things is it will help the liver to do its processes that it needs to do. Now, one thing that I will cover, I've never actually seen this, but it does make sense to me, is that if you're not caffeine sensitive, green tea may be of value. This is assuming too you're not extremely dehydrated, but green tea, if you need someone to pick you up, green tea over coffee. And my reasoning behind this is that green tea contains L-theanine, or L-theanine, depending upon who you're talking to. Now, L-theanine is it's a compound that it's basically referred to as being GABAergic. Now, when you drink a lot of alcohol, it causes, let's simply putting this, it causes one of the chemicals in your body, which is called GABA, to basically it'll be off kilter and imbalanced. And something like L-theanine does have the potential to bring that back into balance. So drinking green tea, if you're needing some type of pickup, would be probably more advantageous than drinking coffee if you needed something along those lines and you're not caffeine sensitive. So that's just a quick rundown. Obviously, drinking real water and drinking enough of it is very, very important too. So that pretty much covers everything on that. If you have any further questions, just shoot them to me. Any herbs or any specific things or whatever. I've been getting a lot of questions here recently, and just finally finding the time to start answering them. So keep shooting them to me. Question, comment, like, and share the video, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.